Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's March 2nd, 2014, and this week we're going to do a lesson covering finding the chord tones. And this week's question was sent in from Jerry. He's out in Buffalo, New York. He wrote in with this email. I've just joined a new band. We play older rock and some soul. There are a couple of songs where I'm supposed to play some solo lines. The problem I'm having is that I can't seem to play over the chords and make it sound cool. The other rhythm guitarist is telling me to just find the chord tones, but I'm not sure what this means. Can you make a lesson on finding the chord tones? From Jerry in Buffalo, New York, USA. Well, hey, thanks for writing in, Jerry. When guitar players solo over changes that they understand musically, they tend to play with full musical control. However, when they're confronted with musical ideas that they do not fully comprehend, their playing often submerges and just tanks, and their musical personality on the instrument will tend to actually regress. So in order to get through to the next level, players need to work at being more capable at playing over more complex harmony. And the easiest way to overcome this is by learning where the chord tones, extensions, and any alterations are precisely on the neck. So let's zoom in on the neck and work through some studies so that you can begin to feel more at home with finding the chord tones. Well, when it comes to finding chord tones, we need to start our studies by learning the specific tones that are found within any chord type we may encounter while jamming on all the various songs that can eventually come our way. Now, I've always found that if we begin with the major and the minor seventh chords, we can cover the largest harmonic area in the shortest time possible. So let's start here by examining the chord tones of a D major 7 chord. Those chord tones would basically be a D note, an F sharp, an A, and a C sharp. Now I've laid them out a little bit differently just so we can come from within that chord structure of the D major 7 built on 5th string root. And we're going to come from the C sharp. We'll have C sharp, F, A. And we'll head up to that 9th fret of the 1st string for the C sharp, come back down, grab the A, F sharp, and C once more. So that gives us the specific chord tones, and now you know shape here off the 5th string for that D major 7. We've chord tone targeted everything out to that D major 7 chord in that location. And the next thing we're going to do is go in a direction that might actually surprise you. You know, most commonly instructors will often suggest that students develop their arpeggios to learn how to target chord tones. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, this is excellent work. I think it's work that needs to be done. But I'd like to speed up the learning here a little bit by suggesting that we instead go with what you very likely already know and is almost exactly the same application. It's going to be taking the direction of using pentatonic scales. In the case of the D major 7 chord, it's going to be the D major pentatonic scale. Let's play through that off the 5th fret of the 5th string. Fits perfectly on top of that D major 7 chord, as you can tell. And not only does the major pentatonic scale give us, of course, the root, the major 3rd, and the perfect 5th of the triad, but it also provides us with a 9th. And we can get a 13th extension or a 6th extension off that too if we want to have a sound to give the character of a D major 6 chord even if we wanted to. Now these are very cool sounding extended tones to apply alongside of the primary chord tones. So let's take all that into consideration. We'll head over next to some minor chord color by having a look at the minor 7th chord quality. Once again, we'll organize the specific chord tones first. Our chord will be an A minor 7. This time with the specific chord tones for us being a little bit higher up on the neck. We're going to start from an E note up here at the 9th fret of 3rd string, move through G, A, have our C note. The 12th fret of the 1st string will be our E up there, back down to C, we'll have back down to A, back down to G, and then we'll just go a little bit further down into the 4th string, 10th fret for a low C, and then come back up onto an E note. So those specific chord tones are going to be A, C, E, and of course a G note. Covering the sounds precisely of that A minor 7. Now, as we've just done with our previous major tonality example, we'll next run through the associated quality minor pentatonic scale to match against the chord tones of that A minor 7 chord. Now in this case, the associated minor pentatonic scale will be, you guessed it, A minor pentatonic. Now, the specific chord tones it offers us will, of course, be the root, the flat third, the fifth, and the flat seventh. And as you can tell, minor pentatonic offers us more in respect to the chord tones. Back in the major pentatonic, when we compared it to our D major 7, we only had the root, third, and fifth. Now we have the root, the third, the fifth, and that seventh as well. So, as you might have guessed, we lose out in the extensions department with only one extension being a part of this chord, which in this case is the off of the A root. It would wind up being the extended chord tone of a D. You can think of it maybe if you had an A minor 11. There's your D up there at the third fret of the second string. It's a very cool sound. But let's go ahead here and take an example of a fourth string, A minor pentatonic. We'll just keep things a little bit higher on the neck, because that's where we generally solo most of the time. So we're going to go from 7th fret, 4th string A, up to the 10th fret of a C note there. Then we're going to move to the 3rd string. We're going to have D and E. Then we'll have our G and A on the 8th and 10th frets of the 2nd string. And then on the 1st string, we'll have a C and D up there. We'll also include a high E. And then we'll just move back down. I'm going to end on that E again, just to kind of give it a little bit different color. There's all some really nice chord tones, all of them, root, third, fifth, and 7th, and then we've also got that extension too of that 11th, very cool sound. So there's a way to contact into every tone of the A minor 7 chord and have all the correct color, the correct sound into that extension as well. So that's the initial study that you'll want to do. Take your major chords, your major 7s, your minor 7s. You want to branch out eventually, get into the dominant chords as well. Take a look at some of those minor 7 flat 5s and diminish. Get all your organization done with chord tones. Then start messing around with some pentatonic ideas. And in wrapping up, I'd like to leave you with a demonstration of a melodic phrase example over the chord changes that we were just looking at of the D major 7 changing to A minor 7. And it should give you a fairly decent understanding of how all this information can be applied. But getting back to what I was talking about a moment ago, just keep in mind that you'll need to break down whatever chords you're working with so that you're well aware of the specific chord tones. Then you'll want to associate a pentatonic scale into your chord. If you have either a major or a dominant chord, you'll be using that major pentatonic. If you have any kind of minor, like a minor triad, minor 7th, minor 9, minor 11, a minor 13, you'll of course be applying the chord tones in conjunction with the minor pentatonic. So first of all, here's how all these chords, all the changes basically sound played, each covering 2 measures with the 4-bar phrase covering 2 bars with the D, 2 bars with the A. And just first of all, here's how the chord changes are going to sound. So here's D major 7, doing that one for 2 bars, and then we're coming into the A minor 7. So this is going to be our rhythm track. And I've put together a chord tone targeting melody. It's going to go like this. Here's the chord changes again. Here's the melody again. One more time. Well, the study of this idea will obviously require some time well spent. If you're unfamiliar with chord tones for both triad and 7th chords, you'll need to make a study of those first. So you may want to check out my lessons titled Understanding Triad Chords, and also my other lesson on this topic called 7th and Extended Chords. I'll include links to those lessons in the description box for you. Now, one other tip I can pass along is no matter what set of chord changes ever comes along for you, if you want to really get your chops up on playing over them, be sure to record them and then play along with the backing track, all the while practicing in very small segments of targeting only one chord tone at a time. You know, go through the progression, target thirds, then go through it again, target fifths, then go through it and target roots, target sevenths, and then work through the pentatonic structures. Over time, you're going to really get this stuff together, and this will be an excellent way for you to get better at targeting chord tones in the long run. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.